What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And this one I want to break down what's going on with SPY and the market and talk about some very important things. But let me first say that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And don't forget about the Webull link. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. This offer ends very soon, as I'm going to stop promoting this starting tomorrow. Anyways, when it comes to the market, SPY got this nice push to 510.5. Now we're starting to reject right here. Can we hold above 510? Do we end up losing it? That's going to be very, very key. You can see so far it's been holding 510 for just about like 20 minutes, but now it's starting to turn back down. So just be very careful, guys. I did predict SPY would hit the 510 area. That's exactly what happened. But despite SPY being green alongside the QQQ, Tesla's kind of red right now. So we're seeing some weakness amongst some sectors and some stocks. So I wanted to call out as well that today was Friday. We had some data. The S&P Global Manufacturing PMI was above expectations. SPY did push a little bit, and we got a big push after all of this data came out. We saw the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report aligned with expectations, but some things were a little bit weak when it comes to like manufacturing employment, manufacturing PMI, and things like that. So some things were kind of weak. Everything else was close to expectations, and things were fine. However, I do want to call out that with the data coming out, despite how it looked, SPY still pumped up to 510.5, but now it's starting to show some weakness. We'll see how well it could hold this 510 area, very tight level. We have tough resistance, and we'll see how it does. But Tesla's a little bit red. So looking at Tesla, I'm going to start off with Tesla because that's what I have opened. Tesla has a left shoulder here. We have a head, a triple top rejection, and then we have this right shoulder. It's coming down, so it's showing some weakness. Watch this support at 198.5 and then 198. If we lose that, we could come all the way down to 195. Watch and see how well Tesla holds. It's showing some weakness, especially as SPY is rejecting. So be very careful with Tesla. And there is a risk of more downside next week as we have a bearish looking formation. On SPY, I just want to mention that this is also looking pretty decent overall. It's not bad, not great. Look at this, we're forming kind of like a cup-like formation. But the last time we hit 510, we got this big rejection. We're hitting 510, we're kind of struggling because 510 is a very, very tough resistance. If we get a clean break above the 510s, if you see like 511 plus, I think we could go all the way up to 512. But we're still in the 510s. We're kind of struggling up here. We're starting to shuffle a little bit, but we're still struggling to get a clean break of 510. So just be careful. If we do reject off this, we could return all the way back down to the breakout area at this 509.5 area. And if we lose that, 508.5 is coming, followed by 507 to 507.5. Right now, it's still fighting at 510. We'll see how well this could hold or not. If we lose it, could come back down. We're still trying to fight at this 510 area, so watch that very carefully. For the QQQ, this is also fighting at, well, basically what I told everyone was if we broke 440, expect 442. That is exactly where the QQQ went, 442, a little bit higher than that. Now we're starting to reject. Watch support at the breakout area at 440.7-ish, 440.75. If we lose that, we could be looking at 440 all over again and then 438 below that. It is showing some signs of tough resistance at 442, so we'll have to see how it ends up doing. It's not looking the strongest, so just be very, very careful of that rejection. For Nvidia, in my opinion, is also looking not the strongest. So we got a breakout, which is awesome. Awesome. We called this level. I also told you guys to watch 807 if we broke 800. I expected this thing to hit 800 yesterday, and we got the pump. But now that we hit the targets at 807, we're a little bit higher. Now we're coming back down. There is a risk of this kind of shuffling between 800 and 807. It's starting to reject just a little bit, which could slow the QQQ down a little bit more as the market's starting to slow just a bit. So be very careful with Nvidia right over here. We could be looking for a retest of like 805. It is holding up decently, but it might shuffle in this range. So we'll see how it does. So just be very careful with Nvidia. I also want to mention that we have Aapl. Aapl is also showing some weakness. We just lost 178, which is a big level. Now we're going to be watching 177.5. And below that, we have 176.5 coming, followed by 176. So some tight supports on Aapl. We'll see how this thing holds up. But there is a risk of more downside as Aapl just lost 170. It's continuing to look very, very weak. So with this big downward trend on Aapl, be very careful, guys. This could slow the market down. Watch 178 as our support. Watch resistance right here at 178.8. And then above that, we have like 179 and then 180. We're barely holding 178, so be careful if you lose this. 177.5 is next, and the trend is still relatively weak, so just be very careful. So with that being said, be careful, everyone. SPY is at critical resistance. Same thing with the QQQ. Tesla is looking relatively weak. Nvidia is kind of shuffling, and Apple's looking weak as well. Don't forget that, guys, at least for now. And I also want to mention that for Super Micro, I told you all if we held support, expect 900. We actually got up to 927, so it did get the breakout as we expected. So we called this as well. On the 4-hour time frame, this is still holding up. Watch 900 as support, 884, and then 860. If this thing tries to keep going, if we could break 950, I'm expecting this thing to go up to, well, I'm sorry, it's 940. If we break that, then we could get close to like 1,000 before we do see a rejection. So, in my opinion, it looks bullish, but watch 930 to 940 is resistance. And watch support at 900 and 884. It is holding up nicely, but the market could make things a little bit complicated, so be a little bit careful. And then on top of that, we have just a few more. We have AMD, which is still showing life. We called that this thing could be testing 200, and then we might get a rejection. We hit 201.5, a little bit harder than expected. Now we're coming down again. Watch support at 195.38 and 198, two supports to watch for. So far, it's holding up quite decently. We also have another level to be watching for on the VIX. VIX is actually coming down as the market's been pumping, but we'll see if the VIX can try to base here because we hit this support. We're approaching the 13 area, which is not far from like 12.5. So we'll be watching to see how well this could hold. We haven't fully filled this gap, which means it is possible for the market to break out more later next week. But still, just be careful. The VIX is still looking kind of weak. Besides that, that is it for now. Amazon hit 177, close to expectations. We were expecting 178. We came just under that, so it is close to what we were expecting. Meta is approaching the big 500. I called 494 and told you if that broke, we could be looking for a bigger push. We hit 501. Now we're going to be watching the 500 resistance. So most of this was as expected. With that being said, guys, don't forget, SPY and the QQQ are holding up. Apple and Tesla are weak. Nvidia is just shuffling and doing its thing. All right. Have a great day. Do what you have to do. Hopefully, this intraday video was helpful, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. One more thing I just want to mention is, as far as the market goes, there are a lot of puts expiring on SPY. We have over 900,000 of them. So be wary of that. If this thing does pull back more, we could get an end of the day pump possibly. So we'll see how that goes. Just be prepared for that just to be safe. Do not turn overly bearish. And remember, when SPY was at 510 and this thing started sinking back down to 504, right? I was one of those people that told you don't be overly bearish. It could always bounce again. And that's what happened. Other people were telling you the market was going to crash. I told you it's not the time right now. Don't fall for that. And I'm going to say the same thing right here. Don't expect the market to just crash here for no reason. Okay? We're holding up. We could pull back a little bit, but it's always possible for us to rebound at the end of the day. We'll have to watch for that just to be safe. And part of why I'm saying that is because of all the puts expiring. All right. So I'm not promising it. We have to wait for confirmation first and watch and see how SPY reacts to resistance. Tesla's starting to sink a lot more now, so it's showing even more weakness. So, anyways, thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon on the next video in just a couple of hours. And with that said, have a great day. Remember to manage risks and do what's best for your own portfolios. Thank you and peace out.